Last year, businesses had access to increased Section 179 expensing and bonus depreciation. The committee has heard many times how important Section 179 expensing limits are for small firms. Can you explain how the two provisions work together and how bonus depreciation provides an additional benefits for small firms? There might be some members in Congress who do not see the direct benefit of bonus depreciation for small firms. Can you please explain that?
Yes, ma'am. Well, as you've heard from almost every member, we're in a distressed market, and the bonus depreciation extension would enable us to invest in new equipment, new, greener, cleaner, more efficient equipment, and getting that ability to have that accelerated depreciation means we have other revenues to reinvest in the company in other ways, most especially in the area of jobs. And if we can grow our business, grow our revenue, it flows to all capacity of the business. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Mr. Ring?
Yes, ma'am.
Small firms benefit not only as purchasers of business equipment, but also indirectly as manufacturers and distributors or sellers of such investments. Can you explain how small firms benefit from larger companies making investment that might be spurred by bonus depreciation?
Absolutely. I'm very glad that you asked me that. Our customers, our commercial customers, have HVACR equipment on the roofs of their buildings or serving their buildings that right now is required to be depreciated over 39.5 years. And that's a very old standard that may have applied to how heating systems were manufactured and installed many years ago when that law was first written. Right now, the average life expectancy of a commercial package heating and cooling unit is about 15 years. There is absolutely no tax incentive whatsoever for anyone to replace a piece of equipment that's not 39.5 years old. We've suggested, our association has worked with members of Congress in the past, including yourself, to help introduce a piece of legislation we call the Cool and Efficient Buildings Act that would encourage commercial property owners to replace outdated HVACR equipment with high-efficiency equipment and entitle them to an accelerated depreciation. This would have a tremendous impact on our global warming potential, our carbon footprint. It would meet many policy objectives of this and many other administrations of reducing our energy consumption, and at the same time stimulate the economy. We currently have a $1,500 federal tax credit in place for our residential clients that is resulting in increased sales for us right now. Any type of incentive to our commercial clients to replace systems through an accelerated depreciation would be phenomenal to our business. Our residential business is up 8% right now. Our commercial business is down 30%.
And that is related to the 1,500?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Boddington, one issue facing small firms, and you mentioned it, is the lack of affordable credit. And if a firm is going to spend $300,000, for example, on a piece of equipment, they will likely need to arrange for some sort of financing. So how has the lack of credit affected you or those in your industry from taking advantage of bonus depreciation?
Oh, it's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked. It's interesting because we missed out on the boat to use the credits previously because our business cycle, we spent a great deal of time when this recession first started, aligning our business, making sure our costs were in line, getting everybody on board to, like I said, take pay cuts and the 401k contribution cuts. We were not in a position to be thinking about investing in the company at that point. After putting all those pieces in place and realigning our business with what our clients needed, we suddenly found ourselves ready to grow, but then realized that some of the credits had expired. So what's interesting is when we look at how this bill is put together, the time frame that we give companies the availability to use it might not always sync up with our time frame of how and when we can use it. We are in a situation, and all companies need to be in this case profitable right now and need to watch our covenants very closely, which we have, and we're in a position where we can begin to borrow money again. But it's obviously the last year and a half was a very difficult time for anybody in the printing industry to be going to the bank and financing equipment.
Mr. Fessler, thank you, Mr. Boddington. To claim bonus depreciation, a business must have not only purchased equipment, but must also place it in service by the end of the year. Have you seen instances where a company has lost the tax benefit because of prolonged production schedules or other delays?
That's a good question, Madam Chairman. I think for us, there's availability of product to purchase, so I don't really see delays, but we often consciously make the decision not to purchase equipment if it's not affordable to us. And in a declining industry and business where profits and margins are shrinking, it's difficult to spend money for such things. But we do have to replace a certain amount of our equipment every year. We're going to replace 30 computers this year. A desktop computer is $800, but a blade server is $20,000. We'll spend $200,000 in computer equipment. We'll spend $600,000 in trucks. But because of the cost of these things, we'll replace less this year than we have in the last 10 years. Bonus depreciation would lessen that cost over a shorter period of time, allow us to purchase more.
Okay. I will come back for the second round of questions, and I will have my first question addressed to Mr. Van der Molen. I will recognize the ranking member.